Sports talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
All-American Eatery out on the Toka Highway. Did you go there this morning?
I did, and I let Abel just pick my burrito. He did it, and my gosh, it was good. And if y'all are listening out there, Abel, Jennifer, let me tell you, it's family-owned and operated, and it's a good family. You know, it's not a sorry bunch of people doing it. These are wonderful people running All-American Eatery. Now then, yeah, they could. All right, now then, next Monday, they're going to have their 5th anniversary. There's going to be 5 items on the menu. It may be 6th. It's either 5 items for $5 or 6 items at $6. It may be their 6th anniversary. It's one of those two. It's going to be a deal. But it's going to be like the steak fingers, chicken bits, pork chops, all the good stuff. And I think it's their 6th anniversary, $6 a deal.
All right.
So next Monday.
Go eat with them. You'll love it. It's great food. Senior Benefit Solutions of West Texas is Lori Kasler. She is located at 2513 86th Street, 2513 86th, and her number is 781-3904. That's her work number, 781-3904. So call her and work. She can help with you with all your Medicare. And I promise you don't know what you're doing.
No,
because nobody
you might
does.
even think you do, but you don't.
But she does, and you need to see her.
And she doesn't charge you to go visit with her. You don't even have to ask for the Thetford and Ashby special. You just got to show up, sit down, and visit with Lori.
That's Lori Kasler. You'll love working with her. I promise you that. All right, we got Mark Finkner on the phone. Mark, I know you got a big game today at 11:30 on softball.
Well, we got first of 2 today, boys.
I know it. You're going to be working hard all day long.
Well, this is day 4 of 5 straight days of doing a broadcast, so taking a few lozenges, and we're good to go today.
So you're really looking forward to being on our show this morning, weren't you?
1,000%, man. Absolutely.
Well, you're awesome, but you did text back that you do solo on softball. You do it all by yourself.
Yes, sir. But, man, as fast-paced as it is, and the way that Tech's throwing, it will be some of these games are quick. In fact, 18-1 on the year, 12 have been run rule. I know you guys have already talked a little bit about the run rule this morning on the baseball side. But, I mean, this team is, there's a term that was used to me by an individual this week that this team is a freight train right now, and they are well down the road. And, yes, but they're still, this is an important weekend. I mean, yes, you're playing at home for the first time, and that's great. But the fact that softball starts Big 12 play next weekend at Houston, so you want to kind of refine some things, do some things. We've seen Nyjeri Kennedy and Caitlin Terry both pitch so far in the first 2 games. So now, how does Coach Glasgow? Does he go back with one or the other? Sam Lincoln, Chloe Riasato, Desiree Spearman. I mean, he's got some options this year. As far as how he may want to pitch this split doubleheader today.
What does he have? Sound like he may have too many pitchers. I don't see how he's going to get innings for.
Gary Ashby, what did you do from 1984 to 1986? You were the head baseball coach. Did you ever complain that, oh my gosh, I got too much pitching?
It's just different.
and Mark, I know you know this, that literally the guy that threw 2 innings today couldn't throw again for 4 or 5 days. But Nyjeri could probably, take a little off and
pitch every day.
Yeah, throw a doubleheader in one day and a doubleheader the next day. But that was my point, is for her to get the innings that she obviously deserves and all. And then the other girl's really good, threw a no-hitter. And it just seemed like that 5th and 6th girl, you have to find innings for her.
Yeah, perhaps, but that's the beauty of playing 5 and 6 games in a weekend like you're doing, because you can get your top pitchers work. I would imagine we'd see Sam Lincoln today for sure in one of these games. So you look at how this sets up, And depending on who you've got, and I'm just going to be honest with you, the teams that you got in here this weekend, not quite to the level that you are. And obviously that, when you say that, you don't want to sound condescending, but yeah, you're not going to have top 10 teams in here this weekend, but it allows you the opportunity to go out and maybe use some pitchers, get them some experience in against teams like this weekend, because hey, you never know when you might need somebody, maybe like Desiree Spearman, who's a real good change pitcher. You're going to find opportunities for her if you have a team that's more, dead red type team, and try to throw that in there.
Let me tell you something, Mark, and what impresses me most about our softball team. We're 18-1. I'm looking at the whole conference standings here. Arizona State's 16-3 at home, 15-2 at home for UCF, 12-3 at home for Arizona. Texas Tech's played 2 games at home. They're 2-0 at home. So we're 18-1, and we've been on the road. We've been playing on neutral
That's
sides.
not bad scheduling, because weather in Lubbock is usually not what we're going to walk out to today.
But just the fact that we're winning like that on the road against some good teams.
Yeah, I mean, yes, there have been some that you've definitely overmatched, but you've also won at A&M. You beat Florida State. They're going to get Florida State again in Tallahassee a little bit later here in a midweek game. Cal State Fullerton pushed them the other day. So, I mean, it's not been totally, against teams that are inferior. You've had some good opponents, and you've beaten some good opponents. But this weekend, you want to definitely sharpen up and be ready to go for next weekend, again, with the start of Big 12 play. But this team, they're a lot of fun to be around so far, and looking forward to just seeing what this team is capable of doing, because we all know that they are capable of winning the whole thing this year. And it's just going to be great to kind of watch and see how this team progresses and how they can get better from now until what we hope will be the first Friday in June or Thursday in June in Oklahoma City.
Are you going with them, or you want somebody else to go? I could go do it.
Well, it's a blessing. I mean,
it is.
To do all the home games except for tomorrow, because the Lady Raiders are in action. So Choice Woodman will pinch hit for me tomorrow here at Rocky Johnson, but to be able to get all the home games and then follow them in the postseason. Hopefully it's Oklahoma City, then regional Lubbock, super regional Lubbock, World Series Oklahoma City. Now obviously there's a lot of action that has to happen before that, but that would be the ideal scenario.
All right, we need to at least mention that this is Janine McCaney Memorial Classic. And she was at Tech when you were.
Oh, I knew
yeah,
Janine well.
She was awesome.
Very professional and just a nice lady.
But
I'm glad they're honoring her.
In honor of her, that's great. Janine McCaney Memorial Classic, and you play at 11:30 today.
We got A&M Corpus at 11:30 this morning, and then a little bit later today at 4:30 we get Detroit Mercy. So
is it a hospital? Is it a hospital?
Sound like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does kind of. They've had several different names in their course of time, but it's funny. Dick Vitale was the one-time basketball coach at Detroit, now Detroit Mercy.
Yeah.
And the current softball coach at Detroit Mercy is named Dan Vitale. As far as I know, of no relation, but I guess you never know until you ask later today.
You got way too much information, Mark.
No, he's like Gus. They got lots of stuff in that brain of his.
Gary,
now, hey, when you accepted this gig, did you say I'd like to be paid by the game or by the hour? Because baseball, you're better off by the hour. Softball, you'd be better off by the game.
It is by the game, okay? So we're all
right.
All good, man.
Now,
are
you the very first radio guy, or did they have radio 5, 6, 8, 10 years ago?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, the campus station KTXT has done the games for years and years, and in fact, they're still doing them. In fact, they sit down below me calling the games as well, and I think that's a wonderful thing. Some people might think differently. I think it's a wonderful thing because you gotta train the next generation. I mean, we when I say we, I mean me and many others were there at one time. I mean, I didn't go that route. I went straight the commercial route via the high school ranks in Plainview, and then getting the Tech opportunity and all that, and we go on down the road there. But I do think it's a great opportunity for those young men to have an opportunity to call games and to start getting some experience, put stuff on tape, which I don't know that they really do that anymore, but to record yourself in some way, shape, or form, because, hey, I mean, we're not going to be here forever. We got a better home here down the road, and we need the next generation to come along. So I think it's great that they do it. But to answer your question, Gary, this is, to my knowledge, the first time that there has been a commercial broadcast of regular season games. Now, of course, Hacks did the World Series last year, but there have not been games on commercial radio before this year.
What station are you going to be on?
We're on 92.3 The Hub.
92.3. Okay. That's not a part of Raymore, is it?
1,000% it is, yes, sir.
Yeah, we got
the Hub too.
Oh, we're everywhere.
We're everywhere.
The Hub.
All right, Fink, when were you the voice of the baseball team?
1995 to 99 and 01 to 07.
All right, I got a trivia question for you. Who was the very first voice of the Red Raiders baseball? And I'll give you a hint. You're never going to get it.
Okay, so obviously it's not Jack or Steve Dale.
No. No, you're not going to get it. Daryl Anderson. And Daryl wound up moving to Houston later and became Dr. Trivia on the radio down in Houston and was very popular down in the Houston area. But he had this little bitty hut that was ground level over just behind home plate off to the third base side. And he sat in that little bitty hut and did the baseball games.
Now, was this when you were playing or when you were coaching?
No, this was, when I was playing. So this would have been in the 70s. Playing. So Daryl did it in the 70s. Jack and I did it in the early 80s. Then I think Steve might have come in.
I don't remember. Gary and I did some games on TV together. Remember those?
Yeah, we did.
We did some games on TV.
I've forgotten that.
Now, I remember that, Jack would do some of the home games and Steve would travel with baseball in the old Southwest Conference. He'd go to Arkansas or wherever and do some of the road games. But, until the first year was 93 when Glenn Seal and Bill Seitzler did all the games. That's the first time the entire schedule was put in 93. And then they did them again. I think Bill was involved in 94, and then I came along with Bill in 95.
Okay. All right, I'll tell you a quick story on Jack Dale. We're about to go on there. We're very first game of the year. We're sitting there, and I go, Jack, have you done a lot of baseball? Well, Gary, I haven't done baseball since the Hubbers in the mid '60s.
Oh my!
And I'm sitting there going, I've never done it, and Jack hadn't done it since we were hardly born. This is going to be horrible. And 3, 2, 1. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to, I guess it was Burl Huffman Field or Tech Baseball Field, whatever it was back then. But he was so good, and he was so good at something that he really didn't know all that much about. He was just great. That's what he was.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. He will be the all-time voice of Red Raider athletics. There is no question about it.
And then Steve, his son, did one game with me when Jack couldn't be there, and he said, stepping in on the right side of the plate is Billy Bob Jones. Well, crap, Billy Bob's hitting left-handed. And Steve's saying, stepping in on the – I had parents say, is Billy Bob switch hitting now? I said, no, Steve just thinks that's the right side of the plate. So, anyway.
Was he dyslexic?
No, he just said, to him, he's stepping in on the right side of the plate. Well, if you're looking at him from back here, he was stepping in on the right side of the plate. Gotcha. But he left-handed. So anyway. But, hey, glad they're doing that. And, boy, there's going to be a lot of interest in this softball team this year. And you do a great job. Here's what I like about you guys. Hacks, you, Jamie, all you guys have such a love for Texas Tech sports, and it comes across in the way you go about presenting the games. And y'all do a wonderful job, and we're lucky to have you guys.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, like I said, this is 4th and 5 days. Tomorrow, going over to the USA, and definitely encourage fans to come out tomorrow to watch the ladies in their regular season finale against Arizona State. We've had a tough road trip, couple of fourth quarters that you'd like to just flush and put away, but hopefully tomorrow get a win on Senior Day, honoring 9 great young ladies.
That's a bunch.
That's a bunch.
Yeah, that is a bunch.
Hey, speaking of them, we need to get them going again.
Right.
And what the heck?
I mean, it's just been, guys, you get on the road, you get in conference play. Sometimes, just things happen. Like Wednesday night, you just didn't have a very good shooting night overall at KU. It's just one of those nights where the ball just doesn't go in the basket. Last Saturday at Colorado, 7 turnovers in the fourth quarter. Obviously, those are the types of things that keep you from winning ball games. But this has been a team that's been resilient. I expect them to come out and play really, really well tomorrow. Hopefully finish it off, finish a 25-win regular season.
Isn't that great?
The vote does not even need to happen. Krista Gerlich and this staff, Coach of the Year, Staff of the Year, you're picked 13th. You still have an outside shot, depending on how Oklahoma State and Colorado do today. You still could have the double bye and be the 4 seed next week in Kansas City.
Exactly.
What this team and what this staff have done, it's been absolutely phenomenal.
It's been fun to watch.
I'm proud of them. Proud of Krista and everything she's done. Proud of the players, and we got some good players coming. I did the game of one last night that's going to be a superstar at Texas Tech and at Brozier Cove.
What a shot Bro hit last night.
Unbelievable.
Into overtime, man. That was unbelievable. I saw that.
Fink, appreciate you, man.
Thank you for being on. Good luck today.
Y'all. Thank you very much. 11 o'clock pregame, 11:30 on 92.3 The Hub, and then 4:30 later today.
All right.
Go, Mark. We'll talk to you later. Thank you.
You got it. Thanks, guys.
You bet.
Mark Finkner, the voice of Red Raider softball and Lady Raider basketball.
Yeah, and we'll have a special guest when we come back from this break.
He's way overdressed for us.
Sports talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Hey, quarter 4 outside the Loop on Slide Road, the store for everybody. You're looking for tech gear, you're looking for team sports, bats and gloves and uniforms. You're a woman looking for fashion. This is the new part that this new store with Brad White.
It's a big league store.
It's unbelievable. The fashion
we're very
stuff
fortunate to have a store like quarter 4.
We really are. Go see them. You can get something for everybody in the family. Huge shoe department. It's just awesome. They do our trophies, Cosby, for the Hall of Honor, of course, which you're a part of.
That was fantastic.
And they're pretty cool. And the medals. They do all of that. So
that's great.
Cosby Morton's here with us. He's a former Dunbar Panther, and he's a part of our Lubbock ISD Athletic Hall of Honor. He's on the board, and he's been a real asset to us.
Yes, he has.
He's really an asset because this guy knows. I think every family that grew up and went to Dunbar and Estacado.
It's one thing to know things, but it's another thing to remember things.
Yeah.
And then it's another thing to verbalize what's in your head. And Cosby's good at all of that.
Really good. So Gary saw him on TV this week on another station. And talking about Black History Month. Is that what you were talking about?
Yes, sir, it was. It was. I was talking about Eugene Rockamore, who actually he cataloged everything that we did back in the old days in East Lubbock, or the Black history of East Lubbock. It was about photography.
He did?
Yes, he did.
You got pictures?
There are pictures, and they're in different places. Like I think Southwest Collection has some of them, and some of them are down in Austin. But there are people that have the pictures because at that particular time we didn't have cameras. You didn't have a phone
on your phone.
And a lot of people didn't have. There was no Polaroids back then. There was no instant. You had to get the film developed. So he did it. Now all of that is in black and white though.
Well, that's fine.
And I've had kids. I've had students ask me, "Was everything in black and white?"
Yeah. That's pretty cool, Cosby, that you know about that. Who was the first black family in Lubbock?
Okay, the first black family in Lubbock.
Well, no, you don't know this, do you?
Well, I do.
Oh, my God.
That's why we had him on, David.
I do not know the first black, but you have to go back to the Quigleys. The Quigleys and the McKnights. They were the first ones here.
And what years were we talking?
We're
30s?
talking about probably the 20s.
Okay.
We're talking about the 20s.
Amazing.
Yes.
It's awesome.
Yes.
And what year did you get out of Dunbar?
1971.
You're in my class.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought we probably talked about that before, but you remember and I don't.
Yeah.
But the Dunbar Panthers, boy, what a school. What a bunch of great athletes that went through Dunbar.
Yes, that's true. And if you're going back to the history of Dunbar as far as athletes are concerned, it dates back to 1931. 1931, the actual school was started in 1923. But in 30,
wow,
a guy named
Tech started, wasn't it?
Yeah. Okay. In 1930, we get a guy named E.C. Struggs. He comes in as principal. So in 31, the students there decide, there's not a lot of students, well, we need to have an athletic program. So they initially, then Mr. Struggs did a lot of coaching then, but you have what's called a club team. Okay, Mr. Charles Sedbury. And he's significant in that his dad, Will Sedbury, created a lot of the stuff in East Lubbock. I mean, he was the first one to get Messiah Presbyterian Church, and then also instrumental in getting the first Dunbar school in 1927, that was located down in the area called the Flats.
It wasn't where it is now.
No, that's the third.
The Flats is over off
Avenue A.
Avenue A in 19th?
Right, and it is on 17th Street and Avenue C. Okay.
Yeah, the Flats. I remember that.
Right. Now, it was, I guess 23 is what I need me to say.
Well, I wasn't there in 23.
But that Dunbar that you're talking about now, where it's located, is the third Dunbar.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The second one is where Ella Isles was. That was in 1937 that one was built.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. See, I can't believe you study this, or what are you doing?
Well, I hate to say it, I was around a lot of people that were instrumental, those old people. I didn't realize it back then, but I was around a lot of the people.
Yeah.
Well, and this is a sports talk show.
Okay.
Could you? Well, no, I'm interested in this. This is Black History Month. I think it's the last day of Black History Month, and I'm just curious, why is it a whole month and not like a day or a week?
Well, a guy named Woodson, right, Carson Woodson. He is the guy, Dr. Woodson. He is the guy who came up with African American History Month. Now, if you look around here, around Texas, around this particular area, there were several high schools, black schools that were named Woodson. And Mr. Lewis Kelly went to one in Abilene, a black school named Woodson. Yeah. Also, you have one in Seminole named Woodson. But he is the architect of the African American History Month.
Okay.
He's the guy that came up with it.
Yes, he was.
Well, it's really cool. And you mentioned that Woodson. I didn't know that, but I've seen them when we've been looking for information. I've seen that school.
That's where
these
it comes
guys
from.
went there.
Right, and Lewis Kelly, who was on the board, he was in the Hall of Honor. He was instrumental in him and his brother Richard were superstars at that particular school back in the 50s.
Isn't that something? Yes. Lewis Kelly.
I played ball with a fellow that went to Dunbar, and then he transferred over to Monterey, because back then, if you took something that you weren't able to take at a certain school, you could go to any school you wanted. And I don't know what course Donnie took, but is Donnie Moore, and that didn't probably go over that well in East Lubbock, did it, when Donnie transferred to Monterey?
Yeah, it's interesting that you should talk about him. I played Little League against Donnie. He played for the Dodgers in Eastern Little League. Now, he was a freshman there at Dunbar. And the coach, Dunbar didn't initiate baseball until 1968 is when they did it. And the coach was Lewis Kelly.
Oh, that right? I did not know that.
Yeah. Donnie
stole him from Lewis.
Yeah.
Oh,
and see, Donnie was. Mr. Kelly was a excellent player when he was at Woodson back in the 50s. But Donnie Moore was on that team. Now the team had a lot of superior athletes, but it didn't operate like Monterey as a team. Okay, because it wasn't as good as Monterey was. And here's the deal: you had Frank Melton, you had Rodney Bryant, names that you probably know,
Bubba
and
Kenner?
Also Bubba Kenner was on that team.
Bubba was a good one.
Now he transferred, which is one of the best things for him, because even though the team had all the athletes, they didn't play as an actual team like the other teams did. So they wasn't that good. I remember them playing Monterey one time and getting beat like 25 to whatever, in a particular time. Yes.
Well, and it was best for Donnie.
Yes, it was.
What it turned out for Donnie and for Monterey, it was best for Monterey.
I agree 100%.
Because he was
how well was it received over at Dunbar?
Well, he being an underclassman, they probably didn't really look at it because you had the older people that were upperclassmen, and they didn't realize it until he got over there. But then would say, wow, we lost an excellent player. Yeah. Why did he go over there? But I understand why he did.
Yeah. Okay, and he's a great guy.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. And literally, Cosby, that was the black student at Monterey High School, period.
He was the only
we had
one
black student, and it was Donnie Moore, and you could not have sent over a better representative for your race than Donnie Moore was, because he was just he fit in with everybody.
Well, he was dynamic in Little League also.
Yeah.
In the Dodgers, he was very dynamic there, too.
But you can be a great athlete and be sort of a jerk, and he wasn't.
Donnie was fun. He really was.
Just fit right in. In fact, in home ec, he was in there with my sister, and he married my sister in home ec when they were practicing, learing how weddings went and all that.
That was his strongest subject, was home ec.
But he didn't care.
Yeah. No.
And I'm going to tell you a quick story. Donnie went to Ranger Junior College.
Okay.
And the reason he went to Ranger Junior College is he told Coach Magel, said, I want to go somewhere where I don't have to go to class. Because he knew what he wanted to do. He knew where he was going, and he knew how to get there. Yeah. And he went to Ranger, and they won the national championship. And then he signed and was a big league all-star.
Yeah, and I seem to remember that he actually played in the minor leagues down in Midland.
Yeah.
And I think it was the Cub organization.
He was with the Cubs. It was the Cubs.
Right.
Sure was.
Yes.
So
and that's
anyway.
Something. Buddy and Willie, I don't know. How are they? I don't know. Are they still around? Buddy and Willie Moore, his parents.
No.
You talk about sweet people.
Yeah. No, they both
passed
have
on.
Yes, they have. Yes. Yes.
Well, I'd like to go to
I didn't know that. I'd have gone to theirs. I went to Donnie's.
Yeah.
And let me tell you what. You hadn't gone to a funeral till you go to a black funeral. Those are so much more enjoyable, celebratory, vibrant.
Energy.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, anyway.
But, so Buddy and Willie have both passed?
I believe so. Yes. I know his dad has passed, yes.
Oh, yeah. Those were good people. Yeah. I will tell you that. I love those people.
All right, when you think of East Lubbock, you think of the black athlete in Lubbock, Texas. It doesn't even have to be East Lubbock, just the black athlete. You're the smartest guy we know on the subject. Tell us some more stories about some of these folks.
Okay, let's go back to when Dunbar started changing as far as athletics. They get a coach in 1937 named Damon Hill, who ironically is also in the Hall of Honor. Yeah. Damon Hill comes in, and things begin to change. All right. They didn't have the uniforms as far as football is concerned. The uniforms they initially used were from Lubbock High, hand-me-downs. Mm-hmm. All right. So they had that now. You have to look at the situation. When I told you about the second school over there in 1937, which is located on Dade Avenue, well, they didn't have a gym. So the basketball teams practiced outside. There was no gym over there at that particular time. Now, let's go forward. 1953, Damon Hill is coaching a guy named Ernest Mallory, who is in the Hall of Honor, is coaching the team. The team wins the first state championship in the Prairie View League, the Prairie View Interscholastic League, which back at that time, if you didn't know, it was segregation, so you played in a black league. But in the Prairie View League, you had players like Joe Green, Bubba Smith. They all come through and Dunbar had the honor of playing Amarillo, which had the Shanklins, Donnie and Ronnie. One of them played with Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah. So what happens is Mallory comes in, and you have a team that has Prentice Williams, who is in the Hall of Honor, and you have a team that has also Curtis Gibson. Yeah, that's the first time Dunbar wins the championship, the state championship, at that particular time. Mallory goes on to win 4 championships in his tenure. He wins 4 championships, 1953, 1957, 1960, and also 1961. And you had dynamic players. And once again, Hall of Honor, we have several of them. Baldy Malone, Joe McWilliams, who we're putting in this year. But he won several. And there's other players that we haven't looked at, but maybe like Themp Harden, they call him Themp, okay? And
Themp?
Jimmy Themp, they call him Themp.
How you get
Themp?
I don't know. I don't know how he got the name. Now,
we finally had a question that he didn't know the answer to.
There you go.
I don't know. Now, this year we put in Tony Peppers. Well, Tony Peppers' dad is Mr. Raymond Peppers. He was the principal. Well, he had a dynamic brother named Jimmy Peppers on the 1957 team, who was an excellent player. So that's the uncle of Tony Peppers.
All right.
And then And then go forward. You have 1962, they go to the state championship in football. Okay? They lose in the actual championship game. You have Ralph Hodge on that team as the quarterback. He is in the Hall of Honor. Now, 63, they win the only championship that they had. They win the state football championship.
Who'd they beat?
I believe they beat Worthing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Houston Worthing.
We put them in the Hall. They're in the Hall of Honor.
Yes, they are. They are.
That team.
You had James Ray Jackson.
Oh, man.
L.V. Andrews.
Yeah.
All those guys were on that particular team.
My gosh. I tell you, the history and the legacy of Dunbar High School is amazing.
Yes.
It really is.
Well, I'd like to get forward where we go to 1967. Mm-hmm. All right. In 67, we get our arch nemesis. They create a school north called Estacada.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing, which I always said about Estacada, is we grew up with all these guys on that particular team. Yeah. And a lot of them, prior to Estacada being built, were at Dunbar playing on Dunbar team.
Including the coach.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Including the coach.
Yes. So all those guys were over there. Hines was a coach of track. Well, he was a coach over there. When I was there, he was a junior varsity coach, but he also took over from Prentice Williams on the track team. All right. Lewis Kelly came in 1961 to Dunbar as an assistant coach, and then he got the head coaching job in 1970, I believe, my junior year there. He became head coach, and he left in 75, and he went over to Estacada. So you see the connections here.
How did everybody receive that?
They didn't particularly like it.
More than Donnie Moore leaving.
Yeah, well, I question that, but I understand why he went over there,
Yeah.
The talent and everything. And then you go back to later on, you had Kenneth Wallace, a player. Now, Kenneth Wallace came from, he was at Dunbar in the 7th and 8th grade. Now, Kenneth Wallace was a star at Tech and at Estacada. But Kenneth Wallace comes over there later on in the 80s, and he coaches Dunbar also. So the connections between the two,
my gosh.
You can't move. Well,
that is so crazy. So they weren't that fired up when Lewis went.
Oh no, not at all. Because that's a rivalry. And if a funny thing, I laugh about this now because in 1968 when they played the championship team, well, Dunbar had just won the district. Dunbar had got into the UIL. Prairie View League was gone. UIL the previous year they won District 3A. And they lost to Sweetwater down in Sweetwater. Okay, so I said, well, they're not going. They can't play that good. So I talked a lot of smack, trash talking.
Yeah.
So Dunbar loses 10-0 to a very excellent team, Estacada, that went on to win the state and didn't lose any games.
Yeah.
So I hid for 2 weeks because everybody was looking for me.
Yeah. You've been talking too much.
Oh, I talked a lot of trash. I didn't think there was any way that Estacada, because they played junior varsity the first year.
Yeah.
There's no way they could beat a team, Dunbar, that won district the previous year. In UIL the first year they were there. They can't do that, but man, they actually dominated Dunbar at that point.
They didn't give up many points that
32, I think, for the year.
Yes.
For the year, 32 points.
And that team was built up. You look at the actual speed that the team had. It's the secondary. You had James Lester, you had Joseph Benson, you had all these, and Jesse Lethbridge. The secondary was fantastic. In fact, it was a track team. It was a 4x4 relay, and I was just amazed. And one of the teams that scored on them was Lakeview, who had not run a lot of games, and they ran like a 70-yard touchdown on them.
Yeah.
Which is unusual that particular year.
Usually they catch you before you can get there.
Yes.
But, what Estacada did with Dunbar guys in 1968 is there's not very
sort of legendary.
Many.
You can make a movie
in
about
history.
Yes.
Yeah, you could. Jimmy Keeling was the head coach.
He was. And they were a fantastic team, and they deserved all the honors that they have got.
All right, Cosby Morton is here with us. We'll be back more
right after this.
Sports talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
All right, welcome back to Sports Talk. Got Cosby Morton here. He is a Dunbar graduate, 1971. He's here to talk about Black History Month, and he is a wealth of information.
Cosby, what were you good at?
Well, now I actually ran track at Stroh's Junior High, but I made a mistake back when I was 6th grade. I wanted to play the violin. And my mother said, if I buy this violin for like $80, you're going to play it, whatever.
That's a lot of money
so
back then.
I played violin until May the 26th, 1971, my graduation day. I toted the violin around. Hey, she didn't bluff. She told me, and this is the way it is. Yeah. So I played violin.
Can you still play it?
I wish I could, but I was a first chair violin player. I was pretty good.
I bet you were.
Yeah. Well, you could still play it.
Bring it to the next board meeting. We'll get you to play for us.
I'll do that. But my mother told me, she said, if I buy this, you're going to play it. I toted that thing home, from Dunbar across the tracks and everything, because she told me.
You still have it?
I still have it.
Did y'all go to competitions in violin?
We actually won in 1969. We won the UIL competition that was out at we become sweepstakes in sight reading and regular concert at Coronado High School. We Mr. J.T. Braxton. J.T. Braxton was the leader there, and we actually won the sweepstakes there.
Now, he had a son that played basketball at Coronado or something, I think.
Well, now Mr. Braxton actually has a son. His son Thomas is a jazz player.
That's him.
Yeah,
Thomas Braxton.
That's Thomas Braxton. Yeah,
but he was an athlete at Coronado.
Oh, he ran track.
Yeah,
but he was actually at Dunbar, but he ran track. He was a good athlete, running track.
Yeah,
and I think he ran track at Tech also.
Hey, forgive me, Cosby, but when you said you were first chair in violin, I was envisioning that you were the only one that had a violin.
No, in violin, okay, all right. In the orchestra, you have first chair and you have second chair. They play different deals. So I had made first chair, So I played with first chair with other people.
Okay.
Yeah, that is a good point. That is a good point.
So you were all state, and you were the only violin player in the whole state.
No. But we did become UIL all state because we.
That's amazing too. Gosh, I never even knew that about you.
Well, I tend to not say a lot about it.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I asked you what you were good at, because I knew you weren't going to just tell us what you're good at. I find ways to work it into a conversation, what I was good at, but I knew you weren't going to. So
to work it in.
What else were you good at?
That's all we talk about.
I was a fairly decent student.
Yeah, I figured you probably were.
I was a fairly decent.
How did you graduate there at Dunbar? Were you valedictorian?
I was number 12.
Ooh, that's good.
I was number 12.
That is awesome. Yes. What was your favorite subject?
I actually like science.
Yeah.
I actually like science.
Well, tell everybody what you're doing today, what you've been doing recently.
Okay.
What you're doing today.
All right. Well, recently, after 35 years of working at AT&T, I was a power manager at AT&T for 35 minutes, and I did everything there. But I now teach school in LISD at Dupree Academy High School. I teach government, economics, and U.S. history.
That's great. Are you going to keep going?
Well,
I know how old you are.
Well, I tell you, when I retired from the phone company at 35, I ran out of gun smokes. There's like 400 of them. I got to where I could actually quote Chester and say what he's saying. No. So I said, I need to find something to do. And I'm not a fisherman. I'm not good at it. I don't like it, and I'm not good at it.
You love Gunsmoke?
Oh, love it. I love all Westerns.
My granddad never missed an episode, ever.
Matt, behind you, the balcony.
Yes.
Okay, I saw this. Y'all got to hear this. Yeah. I saw this the other day. Gunsmoke was just coming off. I've seen two things lately. Yeah. It's about to start in 1955 or whatever year it was. All right, so he's on Johnny Carson. So Johnny Carson calls him out. Here's the new star of a new show that's about to start, Gunsmoke. And so James Arness comes out, Matt Dillon, and he says, he wasn't, but he's a class guy. He's a big old guy, 6'4", 5'5".
6'7".
6'7".
Yeah.
I didn't realize he was that big, but Johnny says, I hear that you got the really quick draw, that nobody can beat you on the draw. And Matt Dillon says, well, he's very humble. Yeah. He's very humble. So Johnny says, here's what we're going to do. I got a full-length mirror here, and I want you to draw against yourself. And see, and Matt goes, well, okay. So he goes over and stands in front of the mirror and draws and shoots, and the guy that's in the mirror falls down. And I thought, and of course Johnny went crazy. He shot his reflection.
Well, let me tell you an interesting story about him. He's 6'7".
Yeah.
He was at D-Day. So they used him to go off of the landing first because they wanted to know how deep the water was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now, another thing if you Google, if you watch Gunsmoke, I think 400 something episodes, They're shooting with a 45. In this sitcom, I mean that Western, he was shot like 37 times and stabbed another 20 times.
Are you kidding?
Yeah,
me?
and you can Google it, and you think about it, man, he was shot with 45s and didn't tear, shot like 37 times in the actual, from 1955 to like 1970 something, and then he actually was stabbed another 12 times.
That's how tough he was.
Yeah, he's a tough person.
Hey,
he was.
Yeah.
Here's a text, David.
Oh, good.
All right. Good morning. Great show today, as usual. Does Mr. Morton have any stories about Curtis Gibson this morning? He's a wonderful man.
Curtis
Thanks.
Gibson, one of the all-time greats.
Yes, I do. Mr. Gibson was my government teacher at Dunbar. All right. Mr. Gibson's coaching the team, and they had a star named Mark Wilson. This is a 1968 team.
Big Red.
Yeah, Big Red. 1968 team where they went and lost to Lake Highlands in the championship. Well, Mark, Mark would actually shoot different things, but if you take a shot, Mr. Gibson would jump up, no, and he hit, good shot. good shot. But Mr. Gibson was fantastic, and he took over from Ernest Mallory. Now, Mr. Gibson actually started teaching when he came out of Butler College. He started teaching at Evans, which is a black school down in Slayton. He started teaching there, and he came there in 1964 to 63 whenever Mr. Mallory left, and he won a state championship. But I've known Mr. Gibson forever. I lived in the neighborhood where his mother lived at, and he is a fantastic person. But it's just when you look at his coaching, he coached several players, and he had excellent teams.
One of the finest men I know.
Yes.
I'll tell you that. And Gary, too.
He and Cosby.
He and Cosby.
Thank you.
And one more thing about Gunsmoke before we leave.
Yes.
My mom, she was in the bed, at the end of it. She watched Gunsmoke a lot. My granddad watched every episode, so she watched it, and then I'd sit down there and watch them with her, and there'd be serious problems going on with the family. Was caught with the robbers and the mean people, and Mom said, "Just relax, Matt's coming."
Just relax.
Hey, one of the things.
And when he got there, it was all okay. Yeah. He fixed everything.
Well, funny thing, I always ask, how come he doesn't pay for any beer? He comes in like Miss Kitty.
He's the sheriff.
Miss Kitty, doesn't he need to pay for this beer?
No.
He always gets a free beer when he comes in.
Yeah.
Well, and I always wondered about him and Mrs. Kitty, because Miss Kitty was sort of shiny.
If you look at the early episodes, Miss Kitty is. Excuse me, she's a dance hall girl.
Yeah.
But later on, they materialize and this and that. But they're really not together. But he protects her, and it's like they're together.
Yeah.
It's one of the all-time great Western. Shows of all time. Yes. There's no question.
Oh, excellent.
And I watch those, and Cosby, with all we have today, and I watch those, and I go, this is amazing how the story, how they put it together, and the set and everything is just tremendous.
Yeah, and if you look at the set at the town when he first comes on in the first episodes, you see him firing, and he shoots late. But if you notice the set, look at the back of you see the church. Well, if you look at the Texan, you look at the Lawman, you look at several other movies, it's the same set because of that RKO. Movie theaters, later Desi-Lou theaters. They use the same town. They just change everything around.
I thought I saw Ricky and Lucy back there.
All right, this isn't sports related, but our buddy from Houston, Scott, says, might ask you about Stubbs Barbecue.
Okay. Stubbs Barbecue. Now, when I knew it was on East Broadway. Yeah. Now, Stubbs, okay, what I understand from what people tell me, Stubbs learned from a person named Amos Gamble. Okay, Gamble's Barbecue is historical. It was down on Cedar Avenue, across from Booker T. Washington Park. So Stubbs actually learned some of his, technique from him. And Stubbs was a legend, his barbecue. But prior to him, you had Amos Gamble, Gamble's Barbecue. And anybody that comes from the east side knows about Gamble's Barbecue.
All right.
Gamble's Barbecue. All right, who was the coach at O.L. Slayton who did barbecue later? He was there when I was student teaching over at O.L. Slayton, and he ended up having a barbecue deal. He turned into a big barbecue guy. He was a Dunbar guy.
I don't know. Oh, it may. Well, now I don't think.
Or maybe a Estacada guy.
Yeah. Now I don't think Hankston was at. Oh, Hankston has a lot of barbecue.
No,
I'm not sure who it was. Him. I don't know. Now you may have been there when Mr. Charles Brown was over there. Okay.
I don't know.
I'm not sure who that was.
All right, I'm going to tell you something. That Stubbs Barbecue, East Broadway.
Yes.
I would go over there and not have no qualms about going to East Lubbock, but I told you we only had one black student, Donnie Moore, at Monterey High School, but I don't remember any of the racial problems that we hear about. I think Lubbock was way better shape than most places, but you would probably know more so than I would.
Well, we actually integrated in 1970. Now this goes back to Brown versus Topeka in 1954, but and it came before that. But the integration at Dunbar was 1970, and we didn't have the racial problems or anything like that. And when you speak of Stubbs, one of the things you have is the artists that he brought in there, like Stevie Ray Vaughan played at Stubbs. So you had a lot of different artists there, but we didn't have the racial problems. And when I went to we didn't Now everything we did was in the black community basically, because we had the swimming pool there. We had and speaking of the black community, a lot of the Dunbar teams got their start at Theodore Fee, the South Plains, Lounge Club, Boys Club. Yeah, that's where they all started.
We played some games over there.
We all played over there, and Mr. Fee was very instrumental in those early basketball teams, I'd say since 1955 all the way up.
You just have no idea the impact that those kind of men had.
Yes.
In the whole culture of what was going on with young people.
Yeah, and you had so many men, Charles Sedbury, Mr. Theodore Fee, Curtis Gibson, they were all, J.T. Braxton. We had good role models, good mentors, and we had people to look up to. You didn't have the superstars on TV or this and that. We had people that lived in the community.
Mm-hmm. What about if you had to name the top 3 black athletes in the history of Lubbock?
I would say you have to start out with James Ray Jackson.
He's
got to be one of the first. A.G. Perriman comes in also.
Did he play in Oklahoma?
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
he did. And then when you talk about him playing in Oklahoma, all right, you have...
and not just Dunbar, I'm talking about a whole city.
Yeah. Well, now A.G. was there when they first started the Wishbone.
Yeah,
he was. He was the first fullback in the Wishbone. Also, you had Bubba Kenner.
Yeah,
that's no. But there are
Bubba doesn't act like he was all that good when I talked to him.
Well, I will tell you, in Little League, he's the first person I've ever seen that they stopped pitching to.
He's just not gonna pitch to him anymore
because he was hitting home runs. So he started hitting he started hitting left-handed, and he hit home runs that way. But he could play every position.
Yeah,
he could play catcher, he could play outfield, he could play infield, he could pitch. He was a dynamic. Now his dad and his uncle, D.C. Kenner and H.C. Kenner, played with the Black Hubbers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that is a team.
So he was raised in
baseball.
Yeah. All right, real quickly, Henry Easter. Do you remember that name?
Yes, I do.
All right, Henry Easter went to Posey Elementary School, and I'm at Bayless. Posey comes over, and we're playing them in softball. And he just hit them forever, so finally we're going to walk him. So we're pitching out, and finally he just steps across the plate and hits another bomb. But he was twice as big as us.
Yeah, and let me go back to Little League. The Dodgers, they had a pitching deal. They had Donnie Moore, they had Henry Easter, and they had a guy named Cricket, Lemuel Levitz. All right, Cricket was dynamic, but he was wild. He broke plastic helmets back then. Yeah, but Henry Easter was there, so you had these 3 pitchers on a Little League team, and an Eastern Little League Dodgers.
I will say Henry was 6'4" in elementary school.
Yes,
he was the biggest human I've ever seen.
He went on to work for Santa Fe Railroad. It's where when he left there.
All right, is he still alive?
No, he passed away years ago, but he was a brakeman for Santa Fe Railroad.
Okay, all right.
My gosh, this is unbelievable.
And he wouldn't be one of the great black athletes, but he was one of the biggest black athletes.
Oh, yes. He was dynamic. He was very, he was pretty big.
Pretty big.
Yeah, he was imposing figure.
Yeah. Oh, somebody else that's a black athlete that they don't talk about, and you don't see this, is in 1958 or 59, you had Malford Hibbler, Walter Hibbler's older brother.
Yeah.
And he was dynamic.
Was now Walter Hibbler?
Yeah, he's much older than him, but he was dynamic in 1950s. He was a dynamic athlete also.
My gosh. Just kind of tell me, when they closed Dunbar, what is it, 1992? 93. How did that affect the Dunbar community?
Well, for us older people, it really affected us because we grew up, and growing up, it was the community. You went to 2 different elementary schools. You went to Wheatley and Allows, and then you transitioned to Dunbar. And in 1967, 1965 when they built Struggs, you went to Struggs.
Yeah.
But we were all together for like 12 years. And when you close that, it's like you have to have a school in the community. And the teachers that we had back in the old days were HBCU graduates, and they went to church with your parents, and you saw them. They were vested in it because they lived in the neighborhood.
I hear you.
And when closing that school, it's like, Estacada is great. We support Estacada, but it's not the same thing because you look at the history and everything. We can all come up, generations of people come through Dunbar, and it really, devastated us.
Well, and Dunbar's still a middle school. It's a middle school now.
Yes, it is.
It feeds into Estacada.
Yeah, which is different than when we went to school. It was junior high, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Now you have middle school, which is 6 through 8. We had 7 through 9th.
I always kind of liked where Struggs sat right there on the canyon.
Yeah.
I mean, it was beautiful.
Now, do you understand what that canyon was, sir? All right, back in the 40s, that was a dump ground.
Oh.
Later on,
planning.
Yeah, later on they moved it back behind. That's the reason when you look at cross country, you see the glass and stuff.
May Simmons.
Yeah, May Simmons.
Hey, that is gorgeous.
Yeah.
What are we doing, Gary? We got Coach come to be on.
Yeah.
Cosby, you have been amazing, buddy. Thank you for doing this.
Now, General, I thank you. It's an honor to be here because I watch you all the time, and thank you so much for having me here.
It's fun.
This will be an annual Black History Month deal for us.
I think you got so much information. One show's not enough.
Yeah.
I'm old.
Cosby
Appreciate
Morton,
you,
everybody.
We'll be right back.
Sports talk conversations with a good laugh mixed in. This is the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
All right, West Texas. I was going to tell you a little bit more about Plains Capital. The main bank's at 50th and University, but there are locations all over town, and they have been such great supporters of Texas Tech and Lubbock and our youth through all these many years that they've been here as Plains Capital Bank, and that's who you want to be with. J&W Services, Linco Distributors. I can't tell you how awesome these guys are down in Midland, Texas, and what they do in the oil and gas business, supporting just about every facet of that business. They can help you with the J&W Services and Linco Distributors. In fact, I always encourage you, you're putting your team together to operate down there. You need this company, J&W Services and Linco Distributors, on your team. They can make parts, they can source parts, they can do it all, and that's who you ought to get on your team. Also, here's another one, Mighty Wash, all over the Permian Basin, eastern New Mexico, and all over Lubbock, Texas. And they'll get you in and out and do a great job on your auto bath, is what they call it. The Mighty Wash Auto Bath.
There you have it.
And you can stop in any location, and they will do you a fantastic job. You can get it hand-dried if you want to. I mean, completely hand-dried, where you pull over into another bay, and they dry the whole car. Of course,
and they
have
got blowers.
Vacuums.
I love those blowers.
They do have blowers, and they have vacuums, and all of that's available to you at Mighty Wash. All right. We got, who we got? Coach?
We got the head daddy rabbit.
Coach Kittley?
Yes, sir, guys. Good morning.
Hey.
We knew you didn't have anything going on this morning, so.
You're not busy, are you?
No, I'm about to get busy, but I'm doing good right now. I'm trying to be calm before the storm.
I know it.
All right. Well, the storm sort of started last night, but it's really going to hit this morning. How are we doing so far? You're the best at, I don't know if you do it on a napkin or not, but totaling up points and have a pretty good idea where we're going to finish. So how are we looking?
Well, we had a good day yesterday. I wouldn't say we had a great day, but I thought we were solid yesterday, and I guess I can start with the women. It's really, before the meet started, we thought it was a 4-team race between BYU and Iowa State, Oklahoma State, K-State, and us, actually. And so that's 4 or 5. And then the women, it's just going to come down to who has a great day today, because we all can score 100 or right over 100, and man, it's probably the tightest race that I've seen in the history of the Big 12.
Oh, wow.
Indoor.
Well, you did.
I really think on the men, I think it's K-State and us, and it's going to be close on the men. K-State has really got a great team this year. They gave them a lot more scholarships this year, more than anybody in the league, and they have really gone and got some great kids.
Did they have a good day yesterday?
They had a better day yesterday than they were supposed to.
Okay.
Yes, they've got 62 points on us, and we got 18 right now, so we got to reel them in.
Okay.
62, and the women, Kansas State's leading that too with 48.5 points.
Yeah,
we've got 22
and a half. I don't think they got enough today to beat, Oklahoma State or Iowa State or us or BYU, but they're good. They're very good. I think they can score in the 80s, but I don't think they can score over 100. But they jumped out big time. Yes, they're very, very good in the long jump and high jump and multi-eventers, and so that was the finals yesterday and some of that stuff. So, but we just got to have a good day. I mean, I'm going to be positive. We can win both if we have a great day, and I think our men could be second if we don't. I think our women could be second or third if we don't. But we got the plan to try to finish this thing off today.
Well, Coach, you're not one that's used to second or third. The men have won it 3 years in a row, if I'm remembering right, and the women won it last year. So you won both last year in the Big 12 indoors. That's pretty impressive.
Well, we need to do that again. Like you said, we got a lot on the line, and I think our kids, they got their jaw locked. They want to come back and represent again and have this thing repeat, but we just got to have a good day, and there's a lot of events today, and about 11 events today. We got some of them done yesterday, and it's just going to be who shows up and steps up and gets it done.
All right, for our listeners, when's the best time to come out there? And you may not even know, is it like $10 to get in out there?
I think so. This is a Big 12 event, and I don't know exactly that, but I think you're close. Yeah.
Okay.
10-15 to get in. The field events start at 1. The running starts at 2. Be over about 5:30. So,
would you mind going outside and seeing if you can pay to get in?
Yeah, you can pay when you walk up.
No, you definitely can do that.
It's fun to watch. It's fun to see.
And let me tell you, folks,
there'll be 4,000 people. Those fans will be full. We have 3,000 seats on one side and 1,000 on the other.
That's awesome.
I think it'll be packed today, and it'll be exciting.
Unlike baseball, track runs on. It's an efficiently run thing. You know exactly when the 200 meters is going to be, and exactly it's really. I'm amazed at how well track takes care of their business.
Yeah, our officials, you get good officials and you get good meet management, and then we put on so many meets here that, they've gotten really good at doing it, and I'm so proud of all the people that get that done for us. But you're right. I mean, it'll be, 220 is the 60 meters, and I'm looking at the schedule, and the mile will be at 240. I mean, we will be running this thing on time.
That's awesome. Well, Coach, talk about – and I can't ever say her name, but she just set a Big 12 conference record in the high jump. Timmy Tope.
Oh, wow.
Oh, Timmy Tope out of Sheena, yes.
Yeah.
That wasn't hard
tried
to
jump yesterday the collegiate record, which is 6'6" 3/4, and she almost made it, but she still got us 10 points in the high jump, and she's never lost a Big 12 championship. She's a junior, and she's national champion last year also.
Now, what's the national record?
It is 2 meters, we call it, or 6'6" 3/4.
Now, what'd she jump?
Well, yesterday she jumped 6'4 1/2", 6'5".
Yeah.
So,
okay.
She's right there.
Oh no, she's just you're talking, but boy, in that event, an inch is a lot.
Yeah.
Or what would qualify for the Olympics? I mean, I guess
she has already met the standard for the Olympics. Yes.
Okay.
It's a good question. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, that's we're like high jump you. Our men, we've really had great high jumpers, Coach. Do you look for that?
Well, we definitely want to have great jumpers. Yeah, I mean, I think when you've had high jump you, and then people know you've had a great history of high jump, well, then when you're recruiting those high jumpers, and then they're Texas Tech, I need to look at them because they love the high jump, so it really helps us.
All right, in baseball, we went up to 35 scholarships, and you were just talking about Kansas State increasing theirs, and now all of a sudden they're up there. Did we increase our track scholarships when we increased our baseball?
Yes, we are. Like good question. K-State went to 24 men this year. I have 12. They went to 30 women. I have 18. That's why they're so good this year. But next year, I am going to be moving to 30 in the women and then 27 in the men.
Great.
Is that enough?
I'm going to kind of get even with them nearly next year.
Is that enough?
Well, I'd like to have the max. Baseball got the max, and I think Kirby will work toward me getting the max. It's 45 in the women and 35 in the men, but I'm about 10 off on those right now. But, man, I'm 12 more than I had, so it's I'm very thankful.
Feeling good about that. And our facilities coach, there's got to be kids that come here just want to be in our indoor facility. It's so awesome.
Oh, no, you're right. Our facilities are so good. And just look at what football's done and everybody. And so that never hurts when you're recruiting. And this Sports Performance Center, it recruits itself too.
Well, and when I think of Tech Track, I think of the indoor facility and all. Is our outdoor facility state of the art like our indoor is?
It is a great practice. I wouldn't call it we will host in 2 years, and I'm hoping we get a new surface, but we don't have the grandiose, I guess, of what, like football has in here and even some other sports, the basketball arena and things like that. But it's a good track, but no, it's not in that realm of Oregon or anything like that. It's more just a great place to have a meet, but it's more of a practice facility.
Well, if we're hosting the Big 12, that would be an ideal time to dial it up a little. So hopefully we'll do that.
Yeah. I'm hoping we can, but I think we decided a few years ago to make the indoors the cat's meow, and then we're going to have a good outdoor facility, but not like the indoor.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, Coach, how do you see if we win the Big 12 both? And I think just talking to you and listening to you, there's a chance today we can bring home both titles again for back-to-back years.
No, absolutely. We've got to have a good meet, but we can do it, and that's my jaw is locked. I hope the kids are as much as mine, and I do feel confident we can get this done, but it's going to be down to the wire. And, I mean, we cannot have any mess-ups. And if we have a mess-up or two, then we're going to need some help from somebody else, too.
Yeah, somebody else needs to mess up.
How about the national scene for this for our men's and women's teams this year?
Yeah, our women are actually ranked higher, but they're 7th in the country, and our men are 8th, and I think that's about what we are, to be honest. We've got a really young team on both sides with some good veterans, but we're still very young, and I think we're growing to get there to have a chance at a national championship, in a year or so. But, let's just try to make sure we're both top 10 and finish this thing out.
Well, when you say a young team, we used to think, oh, that's great because they will grow old here together. And now, is track like these other sports where, here today, there tomorrow? Or do people pretty well stay where they're at if they're happy?
We have been very, very fortunate. We hardly ever have kids leave. But in this unregulated NIL, we lost an All-American Kenyan distance runner in the middle of the year. January, Arkansas stole him from us. And so it's becoming a problem because you've got these NIL agents out there. They're calling the kids on your team, telling them they can get them money if they'll leave. And no, it's a whole different business now. And we have been really fortunate because nearly all our kids want to be at Tech. But, when you offer them money, there's one or two occasionally along the way that's going to take it.
Boy, and it seems like Arkansas's name comes up way more than anybody else when it comes to that poaching.
Arkansas and Oregon, and they know that I'm telling the truth.
You're not candy coating it. That's what it is.
They've got that Nike money, and then Arkansas's got Tyson Chicken, and they've got other things. But some of this is unregulated. We're supposed to be going through the right channels, and I'm not saying they're not, but for some reason they're able to get these kids money that we're not able to. So I'm hoping that'll all settle down at some point. They've got to start nailing these people that are cheating, and that way it'll slow it down, I hope.
I think Trump next week is formulating a group, and I don't know. I was going to ask Cody Campbell if he's going to be on that panel, and he sure might be.
It's I shouldn't say paper because I still read a paper, but it says he is.
Good.
I read Cody was going to be there with Saban and some of the other people in the country.
Tim Tebow, Condoleezza Rice.
Well, I will tell you something. and a lot of people don't like him. But if Trump gets involved, something will happen.
Something's gonna
I don't know
done.
what, but something will happen.
I agree, and I sure hope that he will, try to do something. They've just got to get this thing regulated. We thought when you give football and everybody $16 million and the basketball $4 million that the NIL outside stuff would slow down, and a lot of these schools are just ignoring the rules and doing it anyway. And so, I don't know. I don't know where that goes. And now it's bleeding down to, baseball. Tadlock has that issue, and I have it now in track some. And until they regulate it, everybody's that's got money is going to do that.
Yeah. No, that's exactly right. Well, so hopefully something will come out of this this week.
I just miss the loyalty, don't you, Coach? I just miss the pride. I'm a Red Raider,
Well, crap, the players do too. They just don't know it.
Yeah.
But to go 2 or 3 or 4 years with the same person is a good thing.
Yeah, and I mean, we won 2 national championships in the last 5 years. And we had 12 scholarships, and, Florida, who is a great program, and Alabama and Arkansas, they had 12 scholarships. In other words, it used to be we'd go battle each other, and we had the same – you might have more travel budget than me or whatever, but we all had the same scholarships.
Yeah.
And now somebody's got 45, somebody's got 12, somebody's got 30, somebody's got 20. It's just –
it's not right. It's just not –
yeah, it's not right.
It's not right.
That's the part that's really hard to take. And, I feel bad for baseball because they've been in that situation, and now they're going to get the maximum scholarships, so I'm really hoping it'll help them too.
Well, it won't hurt.
No,
it won't.
It'll help.
Yeah. Coach, we appreciate you, man. Appreciate your time. I know today's a big day for you. I hope things go well for you, or if they don't go well for you, we hope they do. They go poorly for the others. How's that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, appreciate y'all.
You're great, Coach Kittley. We thank you so much. You're always so good to help.
You bet. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Good luck today.
Wreck 'em.
Thank you.
You bet.
You've been listening to the Sports Talk with Thetford and Ashby podcast from Double T 97.3. Catch the show live Saturday mornings from 9 to noon on Double T 97.3 FM or on the Double T 97.3 mobile app.